Voters in Spain go to the polls on Sunday to choose a new parliament. Campaigning has ended, with some polls suggesting a swing to the right. The country is run by a centre-left government at the moment, but it could end up with a coalition that includes a far-right party after this election. Spain hasn't had a nationalist party since the death of military leader Francisco Franco back in 1975. Well, for more on this, let's speak to our correspondent on the ground there in Madrid, Sonia Gallego. Sonia, as we've been saying, summer holidays there. How do people feel about having had this snap election called now?
Well, there's almost a sense of weariness, I suppose, of having had this event really clash into the main Spanish holidays here. And, of course, that is because the Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez, called these snap elections after his party's poor performance in the local elections at the end of May. But one point of interest to note here is the fact that it has really galvanized postal voting here. Some 2.6 million people at least have signed up to vote at post offices. That could be something which favours the socialists, as more people who are galvanised to vote in here will take those votes, and is how they can possibly do so. So with that in mind, though, it's quite a lot of support that Mr. Sánchez is still lacking if he's going to successfully beat off the opposition, and that is the People's Party, who he's still been trailing behind in the polls.
It's the fight of his political life. Pedro Sánchez ended his party's campaign by urging his supporters to keep the faith.
We've done the best campaign, the best. We fell down, we got up again, we ran against the clock and sprinted and climbed to unimaginable highs, and we're only a few metres from reaching our final goal.
It's been a hotly contested race. Yet for the socialists, it's not a straightforward path. Despite a steady economic recovery, it has not powered Sánchez on a path to clear victory. May's local elections saw huge losses for the socialists and major wins for the People's Party, even in traditional left-wing working-class neighbourhoods like Vallecas, which has been increasingly turning away from its socialist roots. Poverty is an issue here. Many who live here often complain of feeling discriminated against, left behind without essential services as other areas are modernized.
We need more help, and the person who will take care of us is the person we will vote for.
People are so tired. This is a working-class neighborhood, and here they're fed up of the injustices, and they will make decisions based on that.
The leader of the Conservative People's Party, Alberto Feijóo, hopes that dissatisfaction will lead to votes for his party, which has promised lower taxes and lower spending.
The change will be for the better, to have a good government, to have a better government and better politics.
The conservative vision of the People's Party does not go far enough, and it's where the far-right Vox Party has found a following. Once a People's Party politician in the Basque Country, its leader Santiago Abascal, with his unequivocally anti-immigration nationalistic platform, has found enough support to turn his party into the third largest political force in the country, and a potential coalition partner. This would be the first time since the restoration of democracy in the late 1970s that Spain would have a far-right presence in its government, and further consolidate a growing hard-right presence within the European Union. Sonia Gallego, Al Jazeera, Madrid.
Now, Vox, of course, is a relative newcomer to the Spanish political scene. Nevertheless, they're already proving themselves to be disruptors to that traditional two-party system there, and have even been going into deals with the People's Party in regional governments as well, and in region and councils as too. Nevertheless, Vox's rhetoric around immigration and regional separatism as well will put it on a collision course with those separatist movements, not just in the Basque Country, but Catalonia as well.
Well, Sonia, you yourself were in Catalonia just in the last couple of days, reporting on what might happen. How is this being viewed there? Are we expecting a good turnout? Do people feel invested in this election?
Well, I they do actually feel invested in the sense that the momentum is with the People's Party at the moment, judging by the polls and judging by the turnout of those local elections. The leader, Alberto Feijóo, certainly seems like as if the momentum lies with him. The question is how much of a majority he can actually pull off. If he fails to get a majority, which means that his party can have absolute a majority in Parliament, then that would be considered an enormous success for him. However, if he doesn't reach that limit, he will have to consider a deal with Vox Party, and that, of course, has quite a lot of effects there, not least of all how it's going to affect policies in the country as well. And this is something that the left and the separatist parties as well have been warning about, saying if you don't want that, then you're going to have to vote for the left or for us.
Sonia Gallego there with all the latest for us from Madrid. We'll stay across that election for you here on Al Jazeera. Thank you for now, Sonia.